Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and today I have a very special guest. Woo! Her name is Amelia. She's one of my best friends. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi guys, my name is Amelia. I am Sarah's best friend since 3rd grade.
Yes.
So we've been rocking the friendship for a while now.
For sure. So on this channel, I talk about life, personal development, and relationships. So if you're into that sort of things, you're definitely in the right place. Today, Amelia and I are going to be sharing with you 3 life lessons from both of our ends that we have experienced in this life, that life has taught us, and we hope that by sharing this, you're able to take these lessons, apply it to your life, or even share those lessons that you have in the comments so that we can learn from one another. Capiche, capiche? All right. Anything you want to say before we get started?
No, I just want to say hi and may God continue to bless you all.
All right, let's get into it. So the first lesson that I want to talk about from my end is this whole idea of self-abandonment. I used to do this thing personally where from a self-abandonment perspective, when I found myself in relationships with somebody, I wanted to be liked or wanted their approval so much that I would neglect my own needs and like focus on meeting their needs, making sure that they were good, making sure that they saw me as enough, that most of the time in those dynamics or relationships, I would not communicate what mattered to me. I would just kind of like take everything in and just focus on their needs being prioritized, that I neglected myself. And after those situations, I would just leave there feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel good about the dynamic. And it just made me feel like that self-abandonment, self-neglect. So that's one of the key lessons, just not neglecting yourself, whether that's in a friendship, whether that's in a relationship, but ensuring that you continue to prioritize yourself first, because at the end of the day, you have you first, right? And if your cup is not filled, you can't depend on someone else to fill your cup. You can't depend on someone else to meet your own basic needs if you're not meeting your needs for yourself. So I think those relationships were just like a mirror or reflection that was kind of showing me like, okay, Sarah, you need to pay more attention to your needs. You need to prioritize yourself a little bit more than you are doing in these dynamics. So that's my first lesson.
You want to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My first lessons that I have learned along the way of this journey of life is honestly putting my relationship with God above everything, and making sure I'm working on that, because it's not going to always be linear. Sometimes I'm slacking. Sometimes I don't read my Bible and all that jazz. But I do have people around me who remind me, hey, have you read? Hey, watching different YouTubers, who are Christian, whatever they talk about, they do have, Bible verses, and that helps me to go back and look and read up on certain things. And yeah, so that is something I'm working on daily, but it's not perfect. And yeah, sometimes I lose focus, but then I get back on track. So that is my first one.
So how would you say, like, when you talk about just your relationship with God, is that something that started for you at a young age, or is it something that you cultivated a little bit more in your adult years?
Well, I've been a Christian pretty much all my life, but taking my relationship with God seriously started 2019.
Okay.
2019, that's when I was like, okay, let me take my relationship seriously with God, because at the end of the day, none of us are guaranteed, a long life. I can be gone tomorrow. We never know. So I'm like, I just want to be in the relationship with God and work on that. I cannot call myself a Christian, and yet I don't even know what the Bible talks about. I don't even know what the Bible stands for. I don't know, who God is. You know what I mean? There's more to God than just, okay, yeah, He will bless you. There's other things He comes with. So I really want to be able to be that person who stand on what I stand for and my faith.
For sure.
So
no, I love that. So the second lesson for me is that everything works itself out. Growing up, I would say I was more on the control side, wanting to know how everything's gonna play out in my life, who's gonna be in it, if I'm gonna become this thing that I want to be, if this relationship is gonna work out with the guy that I'm with at the time, and so forth. So I used to, I wouldn't say worry or panic a lot, that like, oh my gosh, I just need to know. But then over time, I've come to realize that everything works itself out. You don't always need to know the details that is in between. and being okay and content with just allowing yourself to be, and understanding that like what's meant for you is gonna be for you, and no one can take that away from you. So if you're someone too who's like in that mode of like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen, this situation happened now, I'm having so much anxiety towards it, just relax. It will be okay. This too shall pass, which has been one of the biggest lessons, because it has helped me realize that through the storms I'll be okay, through the good times I'll be okay. People leave, people come, I'll be okay. If things don't work out the way I thought it would be, it'll work out for the best. So everything will be okay, will be my next life lesson. What do you?
Oh, honestly, the whole okay thing, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes when you're in the midst of a struggle,
Yeah,
thinking that thoughts, that's the last thing I think about. I'm not about to come live and be like, oh yeah, everything's gonna be, no. You know, some days things sucks, and you know, just it's okay to let the feelings just be what it is.
For sure, right.
But yeah, it will be okay, but just allow yourself to feel the feelings.
I agree. Allow yourself to feel the feelings, but also don't allow yourself to live in the feelings forever,
Definitely,
right?
definitely
Because
don't stay there.
because if you stay there, now you're just gonna allow yourself to drown.
Right.
And I think that's where that self talk comes in eventually.
Right.
Sure.
But my second thing will have to be my authentic self. So I can be very silly at times, and sometimes not a lot of people. You know, some people may not be ready for all of that, all of my craziness. So being my authentic self allows me to know who's there, who's really gonna be there throughout this journey with me. I have had some people who left and some people who are still here, like right here. But you know, it's great just being yourself, knowing that people are there for you because they just love you and want to be with you in this life. You know, as long as we all can be here with each other, that'd be great. But not everybody's gonna make it with you to wherever you may be going, or the journey, or the plans that God has for you. So, you know, appreciate people for where they are, you know, in your life, but at the same time, know that you're also on a journey with them. So if your time is up, your time is up, and just be respectful about it and go on with your life. But don't talk down on anybody or talk bad about anybody. What you had once, it was important. They may not go on with you on the next journey, but that's okay. Just be respectful and move forward. But yeah, being your authentic self and making sure you have people around you who really love you, care for you, and also can hold you accountable. Because she holds me accountable and vice versa. So
sometimes a little bit too much. I just want to do this, okay?
I just be doing the most sometimes, but it's all out of love. But yeah, just be yourself. Definitely.
For sure. I love that, because I think sometimes that whole showing up authentically, you're not always going to attract everybody.
Right.
But then there are some people, your tribe, people who are going to navigate to you because they just like you when you're being you.
Right.
And understanding that you're not for everybody.
And that's okay. You're not everybody's cup of tea, wine, soda. It's all good. You
Shoes.
You got shoes. But yeah, just be yourself, and hopefully the right people stay. And if they have to go, that's okay too. People will come.
Numero 3. So my third life lesson would be that healing is not linear. So when you're trying to heal from a lot of things that you've been through, your childhood, through past friendship, relationships, or just how you saw yourself before, you're gonna go through phases where some days you're at your highest, some days you're at your lowest, and it's just gonna look like this. You know, it's not straight, it's not linear. And I think healing and understanding that it's not linear is so important, because you find yourself like in situations where you're asking yourself, but wait, I thought I healed from this situation. I thought I cried about it and I'm over it. So why am I feeling those feelings now? And it goes back to that whole thing that I'm saying. Some days you're at your peak and you're like, I'm good, I'm over this. Like, you can't touch me. You can't touch this, you know? And then there's those moments where you're like, no, please, God, why? Why me? You know? And it's just a part of the cycle. So one of my things would just be embrace it. Embrace where you're at in your healing journey, and understand that it took you years to develop those feelings and experience what it is that you're feeling, years of taking all of those trauma with you. So it's going to take some time for you to let all of that go, to empty yourself from it, to get to that place of just complete wholeness. You already are whole in who you are right now, but it's just going to take some time for those feelings and things that are attached due to those past events to fully go away. And sometimes they may not ever fully go away. There will be situations that triggers it, but you will have different coping mechanisms to learn how to handle them moving forward. So just remember that it's not linear. So if you find yourself one day down here and the next day up, that's kind of expected. The most important thing is keep moving forward. Don't give up. As long as you don't quit, you'll be continually on the journey. Wow, that was a lot.
Of growth.
Yeah, what she said. Of growth, yes.
This is not gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
Not this. Not even the camera thing. It's not gonna be perfect. We're still learning. So
yeah. Growth
is definitely, it's not ever gonna be linear. But what is that? 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay, so number 3. Three. Okay, my 3rd one would definitely have to be looking at yourself in the mirror. You know, I feel like watching YouTube and watching men and women who are on YouTube, I feel like everybody is pointing the finger on how to be a better this and that. But it's like, we honestly, as human beings, we got to look in the mirror. You know, you can call out things that you see in other people, but you feel some type of way when other people call your stuff out. That's not fair. You know what I mean? Everybody got to look in the mirror and really work on yourself. You know what you need to work on. I know what I need to work on. You know, work on yourself before you start going for another person. That's all I have to say. You know, for myself, that's something I'm working on, is looking at yourself in the mirror. Okay, what do I need to work on? And hopefully working on that little by little. I'm not going to be perfect. It's not going to get done within a year or even 2 years. It's probably going to take me 10 years to become the perfect, you know, the version of myself that I really want to be. But I'm doing it every single day. And with that being said, the more you work on yourself, you may attract somebody who may be, you know, good for you. And if you are married, kudos to you, but I'm single, so.
She just had to throw that in there.
I'm saying, let them know. But you know, we all, you know, just look in the mirror before you start coming for somebody else. You know, let's all work on ourselves a little bit at a time.
I love that. And it reminds me of this whole idea of extreme ownership and accountability of oneself. You know, it's also that thing of like, it takes two to mingle. So if there's a problem, even though someone else may have caused it, but you also contribute to the problem. So take ownership of your part, take accountability, because it's never just like a one-off, or it's just like, it's never like, it's just all of them, you know?
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that.
There was something that you had posted on your Instagram. I don't really know if people follow her Instagram, but if you haven't followed her, please follow her. She will add it below. But her Instagram, you had made one of your drawings that talked about, you know, certain things that trigger you. It might be something you need to heal from. And I was like, oh, yeah, I need to heal certain things. But definitely, we all have triggers, and you know, if you know your triggers, that's even better. But if you don't know your triggers, let's all work on that, because we all have triggers, and people might do stuff that trigger you, and they don't even know that they're triggering you, something from your past or whatever. So you know, if something does trigger you, at least work on that and let them know, hey, what you said triggered me, and that inspired me to act a certain way. You know what I mean? But yeah,
what I'm hearing you say is learn how to communicate.
But even if we say learn how to communicate, communication it's a working process. We have to work on communication until we die. So it's like, how do you communicate, and like the tone that you use, and like how we talked about, even when me and you are upset with each other, we don't just go off the mouth because we're upset. We take a break from each other. You know, I would take a break from you. And you know, I would take a break, and I'm like, I need to watch what I say before I say it, because my relationship with you as a friend is important to me, and I just cannot spew things out of my mouth because I'm angry. That's one thing I'm working on, is like, when you are angry, watch what comes out of your mouth, because you may say stuff because you're angry, but you may not mean it. But when I say stuff when I'm angry, I mean every word. So I watch what I say, because I will mean it. So that's all I'm just saying. You know?
That's so funny.
I'm being honest.
But it's true.
With the people.
It's true. And I think communication, to kind of wrap everything up, is key. You know, being able to communicate your feelings, your needs, your boundaries, so that the other person is not like mind reading how you feel about things, but you're being so clear, so transparent, and then also understanding that you can have an intent in communication, but there's an impact, and understanding your impact that you have on others. You know, sometimes it's negative. You don't intend for it to be negative, but it happens. But then also being able to lean into that part to understand that, like, okay, I had intended for this, but this is the impact it had on you. I'm sorry. Like, I don't always,
that's the key word.
You know, I'm sorry. You know, like, I don't always have to agree with how you feel, but I can lean in to understand how you feel because you're having a human experience that may be different from mine.
Right.
And I think that's key. So Love, that's her nickname.
That's my middle name, guys. My middle name is Love.
Before we wrap it up, is there anything you want to say before we close out today?
Honestly, I'm proud of you, but I'm proud of her. I know she started her YouTube channel a while back and she's progressing on it. So, I hope that we all can follow our dreams little by little. And may God just continue to bless you and bless everyone. And of course, God bless me too. I want some blessings. So you guys take care.
All right. Thank you so much for being on here, for giving us those beautiful insights and advices.
Definitely.
Truly appreciate you. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for tuning in again today. It's a pleasure to talk with you and just have this ongoing conversation and dialogue. So again, we'll see you next week, Saturday. Make sure to show love some love. Yes. But she don't even be on Instagram like that. So I don't know. How they gonna show you some love?
You can put my Instagram, no problem. But no, I don't really be on Instagram.
Alright, well, I'll put it up here so that you guys can check her out. Question of the day. So what's one life lesson that you've learned that you would like to share with us, share with the community, so that we can all ravel in?
We can all grow.
Right. Make sure to share in the comments.
And follow.
And like. And subscribe.
Alright,
Alright, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.